Hello, everyone. Welcome to Executive Search Weekly. I'm Bradley, and today we're diving into, a really important topic: how CEOs can partner effectively with executive search firms. This is something that's actually critical in today's competitive business landscape. I'm excited to be hosting this episode by iSmart Recruit, and joining me today is my amazing co-host, Doreen, who's got some incredible insights to share about this whole process.
Thanks so much, Bradley. I'm really excited to be here and, you know, dive deep into this topic. It's something I'm particularly passionate about, and I think our listeners are going to get some really valuable insights today.
That's right. And before we jump in, I just want to mention that you can find this episode and more great content on the iSmart Recruit website. So, Doreen, shall we get started?
Absolutely, let's dive right in.
So, Doreen, for our listeners who might not be totally familiar with executive search firms, could you break down what they actually do?
Bradley, executive search firms are really specialized recruiters who, well, they're basically talent matchmakers at the highest level. Like we're talking about finding CEOs, CFOs, and other C-suite executives for organizations.
And what makes them different from regular recruiters?
Right. So the thing is, executive search firms are incredibly focused on the top-tier positions, and and they have these extensive networks that they've built over years and years. You know what I mean? They're not just posting jobs on LinkedIn and hoping for the best. They're actually doing deep research, and they're actively reaching out to potential candidates who might not even be looking for new opportunities.
That's fascinating. So, why would a company specifically need one for C-suite hiring?
Well, that's actually a really good question. You see, when you're hiring at the C-suite level, the stakes are they're absolutely massive. Like one wrong hire can literally impact the entire organization's direction. And executive search firms, they bring this incredible level of expertise and this really structured approach to finding the perfect fit.
So, it's not just about finding someone qualified.
Exactly. It's about finding someone who's not just qualified, but who's also, the right cultural fit, who has the right leadership style, and who really aligns with the company's vision. And and the thing is, these firms have these really sophisticated assessment tools and methodologies that help ensure they're making the absolute best match possible.
Um, so let's talk about building relationships with these firms. What's the first step CEOs should take?
Well, the absolute key is, establishing really clear, really open lines of communication right from the start. Like CEOs need to be totally upfront about their expectations and what they're looking for in a candidate. You know what I mean? It's not just about the technical skills, it's about painting this complete picture of the ideal person.
And how should they handle the timeline expectations?
Listen, this is such an important point, Bradley. The thing is, executive searches typically take, like, 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer. And and CEOs need to understand that rushing this process can actually be really counterproductive. You want to give the search firm enough time to really do their magic.
What about the level of involvement? How hands-on should CEOs be?
Right, so there's actually this delicate balance here. You want to be engaged enough to provide meaningful feedback and stay updated on the progress, but not so involved that you're actually slowing down the process. Like trust is absolutely crucial here.
Should they be checking in regularly or
Yeah, absolutely. Setting up regular check-ins is super important. And and the best partnerships I've seen involve weekly updates where both parties are totally transparent about progress, challenges, and, you know, any adjustments that might be needed. It's about creating this really collaborative environment where everyone's aligned on the goals and timeline.
what about confidentiality? That must be pretty important at this level.
Oh my goodness, yes! Confidentiality it's absolutely critical. CEOs need to be really clear about what information can be shared and what needs to stay completely confidential. Like, this isn't just about protecting the company, it's about protecting potential candidates, too. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm really curious about the common mistakes you see. What are some pitfalls CEOs should watch out for?
Oh, this is such an important topic. Like, one of the biggest mistakes I see, CEOs sometimes try to take complete control of the process and they basically micromanage everything. You know what I mean? They're essentially doing the search firm's job, which totally defeats the purpose of hiring experts in the first place.
That makes sense. What other mistakes should they be aware of?
Well, another huge one is not being completely honest about the role or the company culture. Some CEOs try to paint this perfect picture, right? But listen, every organization has its challenges, and being transparent about these is absolutely crucial. Because when you're not, well, it just leads to failed placements and wasted time for everyone involved.
What about during the actual candidate review process?
Right. So here's something that happens way too often. CEOs sometimes get really fixated on this perfect candidate profile they have in their mind, and and they reject really promising candidates who don't exactly match it. Like, they're looking for this unicorn that might not even exist, you know what I mean?
And that's not the best approach.
Absolutely not. The thing is, you want to stay open-minded and really trust the search firm's expertise. They might bring you candidates who don't tick every single box, but have this amazing potential to bring something totally unique to your organization. And and sometimes these turn out to be the absolute best hires.
Are there any other major red flags?
Yeah, one more really critical one. Not respecting candidate confidentiality. Like, sometimes CEOs get excited about a candidate and start sharing information within their network, and and this can absolutely destroy the candidate's trust and derail the entire process. Discretion is it's absolutely essential in executive search.
Let's shift gears a bit and talk about best practices. What can CEOs do to really make the most of their partnership with search firms?
Oh, this is something I'm really passionate about. Like the number one thing, right, is being super clear about your expectations from day one. And and not just about the role, but about everything. The timeline, the communication style, the whole package.
What kind of preparation should CEOs do before even starting the process?
Well, here's what I always tell my clients. Before you even pick up the phone to call a search firm, you need to have this really solid understanding of what you're looking for. And and not just the basic job requirements, right? I mean the deeper stuff, like how this role fits into your company's future, the type of leadership style that works in your culture.
Can you share some tips about staying engaged throughout the process?
Absolutely. So the key is finding this perfect balance, right? You want to be totally involved, but not overwhelming. Like, set up regular check-ins with your search firm, maybe weekly or bi-weekly, and and stick to them. Make yourself available for those really crucial moments. You know what I mean?
Um, what about when candidates start coming in?
This is where preparation really pays off. You want to be ready to move quickly when the right candidate comes along. Like, have your interview team prepped and aligned on the evaluation criteria. And and make sure you're giving detailed, timely feedback to the search firm after each interview. Because, this helps them refine their search and bring you even better candidates.
Should CEOs be involved in selling the opportunity to candidates?
Oh my gosh, yes! This is absolutely crucial. Remember, top executives are usually, not actively looking. So when you meet promising candidates, you need to really engage with them and share your vision. Be authentic, be passionate about your company's future, and make them excited about being part of it.
Um, as we wrap up today's episode, I think we've covered some really valuable ground here. Doreen, could you maybe summarize the key points for our listeners?
Of course. So, like the big takeaways here are really about building this strong partnership with your search firm, right? And and it all starts with being super clear about your expectations, having those regular check-ins, and and staying actively engaged throughout the process, but not, micromanaging it.
And I think you made some great points about preparation being crucial.
Absolutely. You've got to do your homework, right? Know exactly what you're looking for and be ready to move quickly when the right candidate comes along. And and don't forget about being a great ambassador for your company during the whole process.
Before we wrap up, I want to mention that this episode is brought to you by iSmartRecruit, a leading recruitment technology provider. If you're looking to streamline your executive search process, you can visit ismartrecruit.com to learn more.
And just remember, that finding the right executive talent is really crucial for any organization's success. It's all about building those relationships and, maintaining them throughout the entire process.
Thanks for joining us on Executive Search Weekly. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.